Let's talk about different types of fractions. So the first example is what we call a proper fraction. A proper fraction has numerator that is less than the denominator. So numerator is the smaller number and denominator is the larger number. Next example is an example of improper fraction, because as you can see, in this case, the numerator is greater than denominator. Improper fraction. Next example is an example of a mixed number. It contains a whole number, that's 2, and a fraction, 3/4. So we'll say 2 and 3/4. Mixed number. And finally, the last example is called a complex fraction. Notice that this fraction has another fraction in the numerator and another fraction in the denominator. So this is a fraction, and in the denominator it's also a fraction. And the overall number is called a complex fraction. Mixed numbers can be changed to improper fractions, and improper fractions can be changed to mixed numbers. Let's learn how to do that. Let's try to describe what's shaded on this picture as a mixed number. So as we can see that 2 circles are completely shaded and then 1 is only shaded partially, right? So since 2 are completely shaded, it means that we have 2 full circles that are shaded. And then how do we describe this portion? Well, that's one part out of 1, 2, 3, 4, out of 4, right? So this represents fraction 1/4. So this is how I can describe this picture using a mixed number, 2 and then 1/4. Right away, I'm going to make a note that when we look at the mixed number, we can also think about it in terms of addition. So 2 and 1/4 is the same as 2 plus 1/4. So note that 2 and 1/4 is same as 2 plus 1/4. And this picture can help us to understand this, right? 2 and 1/4, well, I can take 2 circles and then add another 1/4 of a circle. Well, then I'll get 2 and 1/4, right? So hopefully this picture can help you to see that these two are equivalent. Okay, going back to this example, let's now describe that same picture using just a fraction. Remember, when we set up a fraction, the denominator tells us in how many parts a whole has been divided. So here we can see that whole is divided into 4 parts. It means the denominator is 4. But how many parts altogether do I have on this picture? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have a total of 9 parts. And since those two numbers are describing same picture, it means that they're equivalent or they're equal. So knowing that these two numbers are equal, that can help us to see how to convert from mixed number to improper fraction and back. I'm gonna rewrite this one more time so I have a little bit more space. So 2 and 1/4. We know that it equals to 9/4 just by using the picture. But now let's think how we can convert from mixed number to improper fraction. Well, to go from the mixed number to improper fraction, we have to take the whole part and multiply it by the denominator, 2 times 4. And then we have to add 1 plus 1. That's how we're going to obtain this numerator of the improper fraction. 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. 9/4. The denominator does not change. Either way we go, denominator is not going to change. So I'll make this, it's important. Okay. Now, hopefully it makes sense why numbers work like that, because if I go back to the picture, how can I get 9 without counting the shaded segments? I know that I have 2 circles shaded, and each circle has 4 parts. I can quickly find the total number of parts by taking 2, the number of circles, and multiplying by how many parts each has. 2 times 4, that will give me 8. And then I'll add this additional part. So this explains why we have to do this kind of operation. And now if I go back, if I need to go from the improper fraction to the mixed number, what I need to do, I need to divide 9 by 4. Remember, this fraction bar represents division. So how many times 4 goes into 9? Well, it goes 2 times. But then I have remainder 1, right? So let me write that. It's 9 divided by 4. That gives us 2 and remainder 1. So 2 is the whole part, and then 1 becomes the numerator, 1/4. And once again, the denominator does not change when we make this kind of conversion. Let's try 2 more examples. So for the first example, we have to take this mixed number and convert it to the improper fraction. So the process is the following. We have to take the whole part, multiply it by the denominator, and then add the numerator. So that will be 4 times 7 plus 3. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 3 is 31. Well, that becomes the numerator, 31. Denominator never changes, it's still 7. So 4 and 3/7, it's the same as 31/7. And for example B, we'll have to take this improper fraction and convert it to a mixed number. That's where we'll have to perform division, right? So this is how we think about it. We have to divide 37 by 8 and see what the remainder is going to be. So how many times 8 goes into 37? Well, it's 4 times, right? That's 32. And then what will be the remainder? Remainder will be 5. So that means that I'm going to write 4 and 5. Well, denominator doesn't change, so 5/8. 37 over 8, it's same as 4 and 5/8. So that's the way to convert mixed number to improper fraction and back.